Fate changed everything. The trip I didn't take, the love I lost, begins with a single choice, a decision so small, so ordinary that I never thought it would change the rest of my life forever. I remember the morning so clearly, the day the air felt heavy with something I couldn't quite name. My best friend begged me to come with her on the trip she had been planning for months. My boyfriend insisted it would be fun. He held my hand with that same reassuring smile that used to melt all my worries away. They both wanted me there, and yet something deep inside me whispered no. I told them I wasn't going. I said I needed to rest, that I wasn't feeling well. They rolled their eyes, laughed and teased me, but in the end they went without me and I stayed behind. At first I regretted it. I paced around my room thinking maybe I was being too dramatic, maybe I should have gone, maybe I should have ignored that strange uneasy feeling that twisted in my stomach. I even thought about calling them to say I had changed my mind, but the phone slipped from my hand and I didn't dial the number. Hours later the news came, a train accident, the very one they had boarded. My heart stopped, my hand shook, I couldn't breathe. The television screamed with chaos, smoke, fire, twisted metal voices crying out in horror. My knees gave way as the reality slammed into me. They were on that train, my best friend, my boyfriend, the two people who meant the most to me in the world. I rushed to the hospital when they called names out, when they read lists, when they shouted for families to come forward. I searched for them desperately. I prayed for a miracle. My eyes burned from tears, my throat raw from crying, until finally someone whispered the words that shattered me. They didn't make it, they never came back. My body felt like it had been torn apart, my soul hollowed out. I had been spared, I had stayed behind, but at what cost? Why was I still here when they were gone? What cruel twist of fate had left me alive while they were taken from me? The days after blurred into shadows. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. Their laughter haunted me, their voices echoed in every corner of my house. I replayed the last conversation over and over in my head, my best friend's bright eyes as she teased me for being boring, my boyfriend's soft kiss on my forehead promising to call me as soon as they arrived. I had no idea those were the last words, the last kiss, the last time I would ever see them alive. I hated myself, I hated fate, I hated the world for letting me stay while they perished in flames. But grief has its own strange way of twisting time. Some nights I swore I heard them calling my name. Some mornings I woke up reaching for him, only to feel the cold emptiness beside me. Sometimes in my dreams I saw her smiling, telling me to be strong, telling me to live, and in those moments I realized that maybe fate had not spared me as a punishment. Maybe it had given me another chance to understand, to grow, to love in ways I had never imagined. Still the guilt weighed heavy on me. I replayed the decision endlessly. Why didn't I go? Why did I listen to the whisper inside me? Why was I spared? What if I had convinced them to stay with me? What if I had chosen differently? But life does not rewind. It does not offer us the mercy of undoing. It only drags us forward whether we are ready or not. I had to learn how to live again without them, to face every sunrise knowing they would never see it, to laugh again knowing they would never laugh with me, to love again even though part of my heart was buried with them. It was not easy for a long time. I locked myself away. I refused to see anyone. I avoided the places we used to go together. I couldn't bear the sight of trains, the sound of announcements at the station, the way people waved goodbye at platforms. I carried the weight of their absence like chains, until one day I found a letter tucked away in an old book, one my best friend had given me for my birthday. It wasn't written for the tragedy, of course, but her words struck me like lightning. Live, she had written in bold, messy handwriting. Live wildly, live freely, live, because one day we will not have the chance anymore. I cried until my chest ached, but in those tears I found something I hadn't felt in months: hope. I began to take small steps. I walked outside. I let the sun touch my face. I breathed in the air like it was the first time I had ever felt alive. I carried their memories with me, not as wounds, but as guiding stars. My best friend's fearless laughter, her reckless joy, my boyfriend's gentle touch, his quiet strength. They had loved life so much they would never have wanted me to waste mine in sorrow. Slowly I began to rebuild myself. I discovered new places, traveled to cities we had once dreamed of visiting together. I met people who reminded me of pieces of them, a smile here, a joke there, kindness that made me feel less alone. And yet love is the most dangerous of all things. I never thought I could feel it again. I never thought my heart could open after being shattered, but fate is cruel and kind at once. It brings loss, and then it brings renewal. I met someone new, not in the way of storybook romance, not with fireworks and lightning, but in the quiet, steady way of healing. He didn't try to erase my past, he didn't pretend my pain didn't exist. He simply stood beside me, patient and gentle, teaching me that love after loss is not betrayal, it is survival. It is the proof that the heart, though broken, can still beat. Still I never forgot them, I never could, and I never wanted to. My love for them lives on forever in every choice I make, in every smile I give, in every step I take. They are my shadows, my ghosts, my angels, and though fate tore them away from me, it also gave me the strength to carry them inside me. I learned that sometimes we do not choose our stories, sometimes fate writes them for us in ink that cannot be erased, but we can choose how we live within them. We can choose whether to let tragedy destroy us or shape us into something stronger. The trip I didn't take, the love I lost, it became my curse and my salvation. It taught me that every moment is fragile, every breath is precious. It taught me that love is eternal even when bodies are not. It taught me that fate changes everything, but it also leaves behind the pieces we need to continue. I will always wonder what might have been if I had gone with them, if I had boarded that train, if we had lived or died together, but I also know that they live on. Through me, through my memories, through my choices, through the love I still carry for them. And so I live not just for myself but for them too, for the laughter we will never share again, for the dreams they will never chase, for the moments stolen by fate. I live with pain, yes, but also with gratitude, because though I lost them I was given the chance to carry their love forward, to honor them by living fully, fiercely, fearlessly as they would have wanted. Fate changed everything, but in the ruins of what was I found the strength to become something new. This is my story, the story of the trip I cancelled, the friends I lost, the love that still burns within me, the tragedy that shattered me, and the rebirth that followed. It is not the story I wanted, but it is the story I was given, and I will tell it as long as I live so that their memory never dies.